So between my first and second years at business school, I worked out in Boulder, Colorado at the probiotic fruit juice startup, Goodbelly. It was a great place to spend the summer, and all of my coworkers were absolutely passionate about their product. So this is the product. It's Goodbelly Shot. It's the strawberry flavor, my favorite, and this is what the product looks like on the shelf. And I highly recommend going out to Whole Foods and giving it a try. And you'll find the tanginess will hit you right at the back of your tongue. So let me begin by giving an overview. Over the course of that summer, I actually ran 2 regression analyses. One at the beginning of the summer, we made some changes to the demo program, and then a second regression analysis at the end of the summer, which is actually the one that you all just replicated. So when I came to Goodbelly, my main project was identifying the impact of their in-store demo program. This program had been run for about a year when I got there, and they'd invested quite a bit of money in it. But they hadn't had the time to really dig into the data and identify whether it had actually had an impact. Now, theoretically, it made sense that the demo program would have an impact because this was a new product, a food product, and it had a quirk. It had this probiotic attached to it. And the benefit of the in-store demos was that not only did the consumer get to taste the product, but they also had the demo rep who could better inform the consumer about the benefits of the probiotic and therefore the benefits of Goodbelly. So when I got there, I sat down with my boss, and one of the initial ways we looked at this analysis was by seeing what our sales were in the weeks before a store had a demo and comparing it to our sales in the same store the week after the store had a demo and trying to see if there was a difference. Now, any difference we found was small, and I was quite concerned with potentially confounding variables. For example, whether or not we had another coupon in that store during that week or some other promotion. So I really wanted to run this regression analysis, and my boss, fortunately for me, was in the process of taking some business school classes, so was up for this endeavor. So I started by figuring out what my data set was going to be and then beginning to build my model. So the data set I used was a Whole Foods data set. We had dollar sales, unit sales, by store, by SKU, by week, by day, and every combination in between. So I had a number of potential continuous variables and possible Y variables. As you know, I also created a number of dummy variables, specifically whether or not a store had a sales rep, and also the key variable, whether or not a store had a demo during a specific week. So I ran my initial regression analysis and was astonished to find that there was no lift the day of the demo. Now this made no sense to me because you literally had a person standing there handing out product. How could you not have a lift the day of the demo? So I ended up going back and combing through the data more carefully, and what I found was that the dates of the demo that were uploaded to the database were the dates the demos were supposed to be done, not necessarily the dates the demos were actually done. So I ended up going through all of the demo sheets that the demo reps faxed in and manually inserting the days the demos were actually done. Fortunately for me, the reward at the end was that I in fact did see a significant lift the day of the demo, even if it was a small lift. So there was a second part to this initial regression analysis, and that was that a theory at the company was that the higher traffic stores would have a greater impact from the demo because you get more customers in, you touch more customers, so possible impact would be greater. So I ended up running the exact same regression analysis, but I split it, one regression analysis for the top selling Whole Food stores and another regression analysis for the lower performing Whole Food stores. What I found was that the lower performing Whole Food stores had little to no impact the day of the demo, and on the other hand, the top selling Whole Food stores did have a significant impact the day of the demo. I ended up presenting these results to the management team, and specifically I had to tell them that yes, there is a small lift the day of the demo, but it's not enough to cover the cost of the demo. As a result, they started thinking about canceling the program altogether. It wasn't having the impact they'd hoped for, it wasn't reaching the customers that they'd expected, and they weren't even able to cover their costs. Well, the marketing director really wanted to keep this program as part of the marketing mix, and this makes sense for all the reasons I listed earlier. The fact that the in-store demo is an opportunity for the consumer to taste this new product, but also it's a chance for the demo rep to inform the consumer about this product's benefits. Ultimately, we ended up getting the chance to rerun the demos. But we did make a couple of changes, specifically 2 important ones. The first was focusing the demos on the top-selling Whole Foods stores. Secondly, we also created a program to better inform the demo reps about the product. What we saw in looking at the demo sheets they faxed in was that many of the demo reps continued to have some questions about the product, which obviously would make it difficult for them to communicate the benefits of the product to the end consumer. So we had about 2.5, 3 months to collect data, and at the end of those 3 months, I reran the regression analysis. In that intervening time, we did have the end cap promotion, which had to be included in the final regression because obviously the end cap created some variation in sales among the different stores. So, fortunately, the result of the final regression analysis was that not only did we have a greater lift the day of the demos, but we also had a significant lift in the weeks following. And as a result, we actually were now able to cover the cost of the demos. So through that final regression analysis, we also got to see that there was a significant lift every day a store had an end cap, and also that the importance of sales rep continued in this second regression analysis. As a result of all of this analysis, the company ended up keeping the in-store demos as part of the marketing mix. And now this marketing tool is much more targeted. It was focused on the top-selling Whole Foods stores, and now is also better able to inform the customer about the benefits of this Goodbelly product. And so now the marketing team could get a much better bang for their marketing buck. So for me, actually, what I found so fascinating about this summer was that not only was I able to do an initial regression analysis to find out some points of concern, but we had the time to make changes to the demo program and then run a second regression analysis to see the impact of those changes. And for me, this really demonstrated the impact this regression tool could have on driving a business forward. Tied in with that is, of course, my takeaways from the core statistics class. And for me, it was even more than t-tests and probability and even regression analysis. What I got out of the class was a certain level of comfort with statistical analysis and being able to develop models, analyze the results, interpret those findings, and communicate those findings, which is absolutely essential. And specifically, in my day job today, I find these skills very useful. I'm an inventory planner, so I forecast out the inventory for my area. And I also end up doing a bunch of the business analysis as well on sales, on margin, ad forecasts, forecasting new products. And for all of these, I don't have a whole summer to run a regression analysis. Instead, I might be lucky if I have a day. So being able to quickly develop a model, analyze the results, interpret the findings, and then communicate those findings to my bosses so that we can drive the business forward is absolutely key. And I truly believe this is one of the important skills that I got from my core statistics class. So I wish you all the best, and of course, best of luck on your final exams.